Imagine you and your friends are playing a Finding the Perpetrator game, but then the game turns real. What would you do? The storm rages outside, cutting off any chance of escape. Phones are dead, the car won't start, and paranoia is spreading like wildfire. As the bodies pile up, secrets are spilling out, friendships are shattering, and the killer is still on the loose. By the time the sun rises, will anyone be left alive? It's a lovely day in the countryside, and friends Bee and Sophie are driving to a mansion owned by Sophie's old friend David, who plans to throw a hurricane party since he heard about the coming storm. Bee is nervous about meeting Sophie's friends. She's a working-class girl from Eastern Europe, while Sophie and her pals are all rich, but Sophie promises they'll love her. When they arrive, Sophie parks the car and curses the old window that won't roll all the way up. While Sophie goes ahead, Bee stays to fix her makeup in the car mirror, forgetting to turn off the mirror lights when she exits. Once inside, Sophie introduces Bee to everyone: her best friend David, his actress girlfriend Emma, Sophie's ex Jordan, Max, podcaster Alice, and her older boyfriend Greg the vet. No one knew they were coming, because Sophie never said she would, but everyone in the group is glad to see them, except for Jordan. To ease the tension and celebrate Sophie's return, Alice suggests a toast, and Greg opens a champagne bottle with a machete he found in David's dad's old collection. Even this simple act is hard for Sophie to watch, since she's in recovery and can't drink with them. Just then, it starts to rain, so they rush inside to get the party going. While Sophie and Bee change clothes, David comes to get Sophie for a private chat. Sophie notices David has a black eye. It turns out he had a fight with Max, who punched David and then left the party. David also acts jealous of Greg and Alice, judging by the way he complains about Greg and won't let Sophie talk about her parents. Meanwhile, Bee wanders the house and runs into Jordan, who warns her to be careful with Sophie. Later, Bee joins the girls in the kitchen, where she feels awkward trying to fit in. Slowly, she relaxes with some drinks and pot cake. The other girls start chatting with her, wanting to know more about her and Sophie. Soon, the party kicks into high gear, and the group has lots of fun drinking, dancing, and using drugs. Jordan hates watching Bee and Sophie dance so closely and asks Bee to dance with him, making Sophie jealous. Sophie needs to break up their dance before things get tense again, so she suggests they play bodies, bodies, bodies. The rules are easy. Each person gets a piece of paper, but only one gets an X. The X means that person is the killer in the game. After everyone hides, the killer must find them and kill them by tapping their back. Losers must lie down and fake death until someone finds them and shouts, bodies, bodies, bodies. Then, everyone meets to guess who did it. To start, everyone takes a shot and slaps the person next to them. Jordan slaps Bee too hard, but then she's too scared to slap David back, even when everyone says it's okay. To show her how, David turns on Greg, but he goes too far and punches him hard. Everyone is stunned, and they call David out. But they're too drunk to care, so they start the game instead. The lights go out, and players scatter to hide, using phone flashlights to see. Bee searches for a good hiding spot, but before she finds one, someone screams bodies. They all go back to the living room to find Greg playing dead. Everyone starts guessing who the killer might be, and David instantly blames Emma. Jordan accuses David right back, which angers him, and he starts making fun of Greg. Hurt, Greg decides to go to bed since he's dead anyway. The group starts discussing their guesses again. At first, Emma and David playfully argue, in the spirit of the game. But suddenly, it turns into a real fight about their relationship and lack of closeness. Getting angrier, David then bullies Emma, mocking her mental health so cruelly that she cries. Everyone votes for him as the killer. Furious, David breaks some glasses and then storms out of the room. Seeing the game is over, the girls decide to hang out together, drinking and playfully slapping each other. Outside, the storm grows worse, and lightning knocks out the power. Luckily, the girls stay calm and make a plan. Jordan checks the breaker, Alice looks for flashlights while they still have phone battery, and Sophie tries to find David. With nothing to do, Bee wanders the house again. In a room near the backyard, she freezes in shock. David is pressed against the window, bleeding from his neck. The other girls see it too, and everyone rushes outside, but David doesn't answer. The storm has cut off all their phones, even the landline. They decide to get in Sophie's car to drive to town for help. Sadly, the car battery is dead, because Bee left the mirror light on. It's their only ride. The others came with Max, and he took his car with him when he left. With no other choice, the girls go back inside. While searching for the generator, Jordan finds the machete covered in blood. Alice already has a theory. She thinks Max snuck back without telling them, and he and David had another fight. It turns out Max confessed his feelings for Emma while high on mushrooms, which is what started their first fight. Jordan thinks that's pointless info and wonders where Greg is since he should be sleeping, but somehow missed all the noise. Alice is mad that Jordan thinks her boyfriend could have done this, especially when Jordan grabs a kitchen knife. But she admits she's only known Greg for a few weeks and doesn't know much about him. Alice still wants to warn Greg, but Jordan covers her mouth. A new fight starts about what to do, and only stops when they realize Emma is gone. The 4 remaining girls search for their friend. They end up in Alice's room, where they find Greg's survival kit with a knife. Alice thought he was just being careful for the hurricane. Next, they check Jordan's room, where B finds Jordan's cute yellow bra. They find Emma hiding under the bed, having a panic attack. Once she takes some Xanax, she's ready to go find Greg. They finally find him in the mansion's gym. He was wearing his therapy mask and headphones, which is why he didn't hear anything. He came here to meditate. The girls act suspicious around him, and Jordan even threatens him with his own knife, wanting to know about the go bag. Just like Alice said, he's just prepared for the hurricane. At first, he doesn't take them seriously, because he thinks they're still playing the game. When he realizes what's happening, he takes a knife from Sophie, telling everyone to calm down and put their weapons down. To be fair, he puts his knife down too, but this lets Jordan and Emma jump him. Greg pushes them off forcefully, but shows concern for the girls because it's self-defense. Sophie tries to grab the knife, but Greg is faster. B thinks Sophie is in danger, so she kills Greg by hitting him on the head with a kettlebell. The room falls silent in shock. Finally, Alice snaps in anger, still sure Greg didn't kill David. Jordan says that as a veteran, he was the most likely to get violent. This just makes Alice angrier. She explains Greg was a vet, as in a veterinarian, not a veteran. This shows her friends don't pay much attention to her life. Another fight starts, while B struggles to cope with what she did and throws up on herself. Sophie sends her to their room to change. Alone, the stress gets to her, and she relapses, using drugs again after staying clean for so long. Sophie, Jordan, Emma, and Alice meet back in the living room, starting another fight about the Max theory. Sophie accuses Emma of not really loving David and using him as a safe choice. Emma fires back, saying David was relieved when Sophie went to rehab so he wouldn't have to deal with her. This is a low blow that hurts Sophie deeply, making her wish Emma had died instead. Crying, Emma runs out of the room. Sophie goes to find the strong drugs David hid in his room, planning to bring them to Emma as an apology. To Sophie's surprise, Emma kisses her before leaving to take the drugs alone. Meanwhile, B washes off Greg's blood and changes clothes. Alice searches the house to find where everyone went. Something on the ground trips her, and Alice screams when she realizes it's Emma's body at the bottom of the stairs. Jordan and B hear her scream and come running. Jordan thinks Emma tripped, but Alice is sure someone pushed her. When Sophie joins them, they go back to the living room. Alice brings up the game again. The killer is still out there, taking the game way too far, and they need to find out who it is before someone else gets hurt. Desperate, Jordan and Alice team up to blame B, an easy target since she's a stranger. Jordan admits she Googled B's name and couldn't find her as a Utah State graduate, the university B claimed she went to. Since B also found David's body and killed Greg, Alice and Jordan force her out of the house into the storm. All doors are locked, and B can't get back in. She finds shelter in Sophie's car, which she breaks into using the window that never closes. Inside, B snacks and changes, only to freeze when she finds a shocking item in Sophie's bag. It's the cute yellow bra that matches Jordan's. Now it's personal for B. While trying to get back inside, she sees Jordan through the window, stealing a gun from David's dad's collection. Minutes later, she finds a pet door big enough for her and manages to get back into the house. When she finds the others, B warns them about Jordan's gun. But Jordan empties her pockets, showing only her phone and the piece of paper that marked her as the game's killer. B accuses Jordan of being the real killer, but no one believes her after the university lie. To prove she's telling the truth, B explains she did go to Utah State, but had to drop out to care for her mom, who has borderline personality disorder. She only lied out of shame and didn't want to let Sophie down. Sophie instantly hugs her and forgives her. Seeing them together angers Jordan so much that she pulls out the gun she hid in the couch and starts to rant. She still believes B is crazy, and when Sophie defends her, Jordan reminds her that they didn't even invite B. Alice admits this is true, and they believe Sophie only came to ask David to talk to her parents so they'd release her trust fund. Sophie fires back, explaining she left for a while because they all kept drinking around her. She had to cut them off if she wanted to get better. Jordan scoffs at this idea and tells B that Sophie cheated on her with Jordan. She says B can check Sophie's texts to confirm. The fight gets worse as they throw insults and expose secrets, all while B watches in shock. When Alice questions Jordan's rich girl story, saying her parents are actually middle class, Jordan finally snaps and shoots Alice in the leg. This proves to Alice that Jordan is the killer. A fight for the gun breaks out, ending with Alice getting accidentally shot and killed. Jordan still has the gun and climbs the stairs to get away from Sophie, who tries to get closer. Worried about Sophie, B jumps on Jordan. They fight for the gun, and B ends up pushing Jordan over the stair railing. Right before she dies, Jordan tells B to check Sophie's texts. Now alone, B tries to talk to Sophie about the deaths and Jordan's cheating claims. Sophie swears she's innocent, but acts so strangely that it scares B, and she hides from her girlfriend for the rest of the night. When the sun rises, the storm has passed. B goes outside and Sophie hugs her. Sophie, now holding the gun, confesses to giving Emma the drugs. The drugs made Emma trip and fall, and Sophie kept quiet because she thought no one would believe her. Disappointed, B pretends to comfort her to get close to the gun. She takes it and demands Sophie's phone. Sophie refuses, then takes out her phone to distract B and try to get the gun back. Another fight for the gun breaks out, and the girls fall into the pool. B gets out of the pool first and finds a phone on the ground. It's not Sophie's, it's David's. She unlocks it by pointing it at the dead body. They find David's last video, proving his death was an accident caused by him trying to show off with a machete. As B and Sophie process the fact that everyone died for nothing, Max returns, wondering what happened. Not knowing what to say, B points out that her phone finally has service again.